Hello, this is Ryan Bankson, and for my final project in Info 244, I chose to prepare a client project. Of the many roles that librarians fulfill, I find that one of the most important and formulaic duties is that of the research assistant or information finder. Living as we do in an era that offers instantaneous information via the internet, a casual information seeker may find that there is too much available information to find exactly what they're looking for. Enter the librarian. An information seeker can simply meet with their local librarian, lay out an information need, and count on effective and efficient information retrieval. The librarian will conduct a reference interview, determine the actual information need, use their search skills to find the information, and then ensure that the question has been comprehensively answered. Desiring to further hone my research skills, I talked to Evan, a fellow library assistant at the Carnegie-Stoudt Public Library in Dubuque, Iowa, about his possible information needs. Evan is currently pursuing a graduate degree in history, so I thought that he might benefit from a client project. While he's not enrolled in a summer course, Evan likes to work ahead in school and begin research as early as possible. I was in luck, as Evan was tossing around ideas for a paper he would have to write in the fall semester. One of his upcoming courses will be taught by a professor that he had had several times before, and whose assignment topics are fairly open. Evan had wanted to write a paper on Gaius Julius Caesar for some time now, and thought that this would be the time to do it. To get started, we estimated that the assignment would be likely around 15 to 20 pages, and Evan was hoping to get 10 scholarly sources. The parameters of the assignment decided, we were ready to perform the initial reference interview. Having established contact while we were at work one day, we met later on to determine the actual information need. What was the actual question? The life and times of Caesar contain a litany of possible foci for a research project, so we first needed to decide upon that focus. By asking open-ended questions such as, which aspects of Caesar's career do you find most interesting? And is there a certain time period in Caesar's life that you'd like to learn more about? Evan decided that he was most interested in Caesar's early campaigns and how some of his impressive early successes led to his unprecedented future political career. I then asked if there was one campaign in particular that he most gravitated to, as a 15 to 20 page effort should concentrate on one important conquest. Evan immediately decided on Caesar's conquest of Gaul. Evan then restated his research topic as the impact of Caesar's Gallic campaign on his future political career. This decided, we were able to move on to the initial search strategy. Evan told me that he prefers print books as sources for his research, but also recognizes the importance of subscription databases. I decided that I'd start with searching for books at our library and nearby libraries, and then move on to the databases, hopefully finding him 5 of each type of source. I first searched our library's OPAC for Caesar, Julius, and Gaul, limiting item types to adult biography and adult nonfiction. This yielded 2 excellent Caesar biographies, and I jotted them down. Then I turned to WorldCat to search nearby libraries for more book sources. Living as we do in Dubuque, Iowa, we are fortunate enough to not only have our public library nearby, but also 3 university libraries serving the 3 universities in town. The same search in WorldCat had nearly 2,000 results, but in looking through the top hits, it was simple to pick out 3 relevant titles that could be found at either the University of Dubuque's library or the Clark University Library, both of which are mere miles from our Library of Employment. I then moved on to a search for journal articles, searching ProQuest Dialogue for Caesar, Julius, and Gaul, which yielded 13 articles, the top 3 being perfect for the parameters of Evan's proposed assignment. I decided to follow up with Evan prior to rounding out the rest of the sources and make sure that we were on the same page. Evan and I met after work one day, and I presented him with my preliminary findings. He thought that the books were perfect and liked that they were available either at our library or at one of the other libraries in town. As far as the articles go, Evan mentioned how database advanced searches can allow the user to make very specific, detailed queries. To that end, he decided he'd like a couple of articles that focused on Caesar's rapport with his men and how his leadership style contributed to his future successes. I decided that I'd perform a more focused search, increase the precision of my findings, and then present my sources again to Evan. After a little trial and error in my search strategy, I decided on a database search for Caesar Julius and leadership and Gaul with a language limiter of English. This search returned exactly 2 results, both of which appeared to be perfect for the parameters of this assignment. The 2 articles were a master's thesis and a doctoral dissertation and were well researched and relevant to Evan's research needs. I added these 2 articles to my list and I arranged to meet with Evan to present my findings. I met with Evan to present the 10 scholarly sources I had found him, having first ensured that each of the articles was accessible via the EBSCO host-powered database that is available through our home library. Evan was pleased with the sources that I provided and liked the ratio between print books and database articles. He liked the focus of the 2 articles that I found and thought that they rounded out his sources nicely. As far as the books, he was ready to start reading through them and taking notes immediately. When I asked Evan if I had met his information need, he responded affirmatively. He told me that if he had any trouble with research in the future, he would happily consult with me for further search tips. Thank you for listening.